Hello again, fellow basement dwellers. That's right, I'm back. Your good friend Patrick O'Dowd is back. To kick off March with all of you, part-time Patrick here, welcoming you in to another edition of Bandwagon Nerds. Bandwagon Nerds is, of course, brought to you as a part of the Chairshot Radio Network here on thechairshot.com, where we remind you to always use your head. Thechairshot.com. Always use your head. I have to say thank you, Tony. Tony, what's wrong over there? I was about to thank you guys. We have a loaded ass bandwagon. I've already made Ray Cash laugh. We don't just have the band back together, the main four. That's right. We do have the main four. We have a very special guest, a last minute addition to the bandwagon. We're going to let him introduce himself in a second, but I got to do a quick go around. I've spent 2 weeks with the mouse. I'm relaxed. I'm refreshed. I'm wearing my spanking new Disney World Maleficent baseball jersey. It's a glorious, glorious expenditure. Totally worth whatever my annual pass holder discount got me it for. And hey, there's reasons to spend $1,700 for an annual pass at Disney World, and that is 20% off merchandise everywhere. That's true. I mean, it paid for itself like not at all. But I went to the parks every single day. It was a great time, and then immediately hopped on a cruise ship, had the time of my life, was great. I've come to learn, gentlemen, I drink a lot when I'm on a cruise ship, like a lot. First night on the cruise ship, hammered Patrick. Should not have gone to the fancy restaurant tapas and wine pairing tasting we had signed up for with all the grown-ups, because Patrick had a very large tankard of beer.
You didn't embarrass the Mrs. O'Dowd, did you?
I did not, but the dining room where we were going to this tasting had a step.
You missed it.
I missed the step.
Nice.
A little stumble. Didn't splay out all the way through. Did a little trip. A little trip. I was like, I'm okay.
You still have
okay.
Still have your cute nose. You don't look like you busted your face open. You looks like you got all your chiclets. So
I did. It went well. It was an interesting cruise. Disney had invited a ton of Disney influencers and bloggers and video loggers for this particular cruise because it was a Pixar day at sea.
Well, and of course they had to have Chairshot's #1 villain and host of Bandwagon Nerds as one of those influencers.
Footage.
But seriously,
no footage.
You could have just said you're one of those influencers. You could have used it.
I could have, but I'm not on their radar.
God knows
but it was fascinating because one of the ones that we watch regularly was there at our dinner, and she posted a video of that cruise today, actually. And during that pairing and tasting, you can see this part of my head as I was sitting next to the sommelier who was explaining the wine pairings with the food. All right. Anyway, enough of.
It's from Africa?
No, not Somali.
You're sitting next. Oh, what did you say?
Sommelier. It is a fancy word for the guy who controls the wine
a
on the ship.
marathon runner with you or something. I didn't know.
No.
I am
That's
the drunk
Ethiopia
person
and
now.
Nigeria.
I am the captain now.
Anyway, let's get into introductions. Of course, I'm Patrick O'Dowd. I was not here for the last 2 weeks. The guy directly to my left on my screen also wasn't here last week. That was my good buddy, the lawyer David Ungar. He's back today feeling a little under the weather, but he came through for us. So, Dave, how are you doing? Welcome back to the podcast.
I'm doing pretty well, other than being a little under the weather, defying X's ban of me by going on YouTube and feeling really good. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dave. And other than that, yeah, glad to be back. Had the week off last week for a noble purpose. And glad to be back talking about a very surprising turn of events.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that in a little bit. The two guys that held the fort and brought in special guests last week, Raymond S. Cashington, Esquire, Reverend Raymond. You ran the show. And you brought in one Christopher Platt and a Balaz, I heard. Like one, I know there's like 7 of them, so like
Big Brother,
one of
Big
them
Brother
showed
Balaz,
up.
yeah,
Big Brother Balaz.
It was every bit of the mess you expected it to be. It was.
I'm working on that part of it. I haven't listened to the entire show. I checked in with you this morning for the trailer park. That's as far as I've got.
You want to know why I know you haven't listened to the show? Because the show was so off the rails, I wouldn't have got a tweet or a text. I'd have got a call. Like, what the fuck did y'all do?
Now, again, I don't do that. I don't understand where this implication that Patrick is like...
You gotta keep it going.
Live the gimmick, buddy.
The gimmick.
I don't live the gimmick. Well, let's also say hello to our executive vice president of Wednesday programming, sorry, my good friend. Though he did a solo show. I saw Greg DeMarco keeping the Greg DeMarco show running 3 weeks in a row, sans Patrick O'Dowd. That's got to be like a record. Or did he miss a week? Did he miss a week?
That was 2 weeks ago.
Sad for him. Well, PC Tunney,
hi.
Did you miss me?
Yep.
I noticed that you missed me so much that you had to share that I will always be the #1 chair shot villain in the Exosphere. I appreciated that. Playing a little game.
Yeah, it was just an appropriate proclamation to make.
And thank you for, game recognizing game. I appreciate that. But we have a return to the bandwagon. And this is a guy who, God, it's been years, literally years, I think, since the last time you've been on the show.
Now, here's a guy.
He's often known as a violent gentleman, but don't let that fool you. Our good friend Aesop Mitchell, also from the depths of Wisconsin, right?
Yes, southern Wisconsin, raised, not born.
He's about 10 miles east of me.
So welcome back to the show. What have you been up to? I've literally not seen you in ages. What have you been up to?
Look, I already apologized pre-recording. I'll apologize now as well. I have been busy in more ways than one because I got a new baby in the house. So that's been taking up most of my time. And the baby stuff was crazy because that baby was trying to come like 6 months early. So, it's been a little bit crazy.
Wow, that's not good.
No, but everything's great. He's healthy and shitting his pants as much as he can. Typical Wortz stuff over here.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, exactly. The best of the Wortz, if you would.
Best of the Wortz.
And then as well, I got a new podcast that I've been running with that's been taking up a lot of my time, Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. I've actually been a new contributor to the podcast, I should say. They've been around for a while, but it's been a lot of fun. So, feel free, sports people, listen in.
Are you doing any wrestling, Dave?
Here and there. It's a little bit of a minefield over here in Wisconsin. To be fair, a lot of promotions are cheap, so they don't want to book me. That's fine because, like I said, I got other stuff to kind of take my time up, and yeah, I don't want to get too political in the wrestling politic landscape.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that later.
Wrestling politics. I said.
Yeah, no. We're not gonna talk wrestling politics, but we are definitely, unfortunately, gonna talk a little real world politics today.
That's all I'm saying. It's not my field anymore. I did what I need to, and I still will wrestle here and there if they want me.
I just want to say on behalf of all the non-Wisconsinites in this podcast, congratulations on the baby, my boy. I had no idea. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
Already
like I said, he's
congratulated.
doing great.
You only get one from me.
Tell
That's all I need.
Say what's up.
If he was here, I would, but it took him out, and so now I'm home alone. That's dangerous.
I'd like to congratulate your baby mama. You really didn't do anything.
That is a lie. I did the most important part, I guess.
Hit that kid 40, that Big E on him.
45 seconds.
You're being quite generous, Tunney.
Sop, I love you. Congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, awesome news. Sounds like everybody's healthy and happy at this point. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. Wonderful. We do have quite a little bit of a show lined up in front of us today. We are making a triumphant return to horror in the trailer park, much to Tunney's joy. But a couple of other unique movies that'll be a series and a movie that'll be out there too. We have to talk about the big turn of events in the purchase of Warner Brothers, just a crazy story that happened midweek this week, and some other news around the nerdosphere before we get back into, because from what I understand, Battle Royal Madness took a week off with myself and Dave both being gone. So we are into round 2 of Battle Royal Madness, and we will be covering, I believe it is Star Wars and Best of the Rest for this week, the second round matchups there. Before we get too far along, again, this is Bandwagon Nerds here as part of the Chairshot Radio Network on thechairshot.com, where we remind you to always use your head. Remember to head over to prowrestlingtees.com/thechairshot and invest in one of those sweet chair shot shirts. You can buy Dave's background on your chest. You could wear Dave's background on your chest over prowrestlingtees.com. We're not with Dave, no. Sans Dave.
No,
nobody wants that.
We want people to speak to you, so we kept Dave's face off of the shirt.
Seriously.
Wisely. For those of you that are listening in live as we do this right now live, please feel free to jump into the chat. Give us some questions. We will do our best to answer them as we go. For those of you that are listening on the delay, well, tough shit. No questions for you. We won't answer them. We hate you. Listen to us live. It's very exciting. That's not true.
For those of you listening live, for those of you listening recorded on Chairshot Radio Network or thechairshot.com, follow the show at Bandwagon Nerds and drop us a line there. Patrick,
could do that too.
We could totally do that. Absolutely.
You villainous bastard.
I will pay attention to that just like I pay attention to the Mindless Wrestling podcast, which I hear is a delightful podcast.
Actually, let's plug our newest show though, 30 Mindless Minutes, which DJ has done a really good job. It's literally 30 minutes with a new guest and a new topic every week. Check this week's out on Thursday morning. He's got a brand new logo for the show as well. So there you go.
Yeah, I hear he does a good job.
I think so.
He does.
I bet. I've actually cheated on our podcast by appearing on a different podcast since coming back from vacation. I know.
You think you know a person.
I did an interview on a Trip Report podcast talking about my vacation. So
just because you're dressed that way does not make you a whore.
And very much plug the other network you work on, right?
I very much did not mention the other network that I worked on.
Way to go, Patrick.
I get paid to not do that. Anyway, we do have quite a great show, though. Let's get into it. We're going to jump right back into the trailer park. And we're going to start with a movie that Tunney's not going to watch. We're going to follow that with another movie that Tunney is not going to watch. And then we're going to talk about a series that is already streaming, followed by a trailer that I know at least Ray's going to watch. I don't know if I'll see it. We'll talk about it. Tunney might watch it. Who knows? I don't know where people are going. But let's get started at the top. So, as a child of the 80s and a part of the video store generation, the blockbuster generation, I would often, when you would go to the video store, you would go into the horror section, and there was like this taboo row at the top of the horror area, like out of the reach of the smaller hands, with these movies titled Faces of Death. And they had this big cult following around them because it was allegedly anthology footage of real deaths taking place that had been recorded on film. And there'd be like this one kid out of the friend group whose like parents were a little edgy, i.e. didn't give a shit what their kid watched or rented, and would rent their kids these movies, and you'd go to the slumber party at like 3 o'clock in the morning and you'd watch real deaths. And that was like a thing that got more and more ridiculous as you got through the series. Because I don't remember how many of the OG series there. There's at least like 6. There's only 3?
There were 3 before things really started. I don't know if there were more, but I remember the first 3. And those had some legitimacy to it. After that, things got weird.
They were fake. Like, they were ridiculously fake, and it was like over the top, but it was always in the effort to push the envelopes of stuff. These are, extremely graphic videos, anthology videos of allegedly real people dying. So of course IWC was like, let's make a new one. And that is the first trailer that we put in front of us today, which looks like this is completely just embracing the fictionality of it all. Like, as I watch this trailer and look at it being like akin to the VHS anthology series or ABCs of Death, where it's like there's this like narrative around the outside as you go to these different mini stories, short films, if you will. I don't know that we needed this. I don't know that anybody wanted this, but we've got it. And since he's back after a long time, let's put Mr. Aesop in the crosshairs of, one, are you ever privy to the famous Faces of Death cult series? And two, why are we doing this?
Okay, so first of all, I know it's been a while, but if you may remember, I am quite a horror aficionado. I do watch a lot of horror movies. In fact, I would say in the current landscape of film, that is probably the genre that I partake in the most. Now, there is something that is very key when you look at that trailer, and that is I want to say it's the second or third promotional tag, and that's for Shudder. So it's kind of a crapshoot. I'm sorry, I like Shudder. I don't personally have Shudder as a subscription, but for those of you who don't know, Shudder is a horror subscription service, and the stuff that Shudder produces is, man, it is either really good or it is pure dog shit. And I will say, this probably has the best look in terms of Shudder original stuff. Normally the video quality on that is about as good as you can get from buying a camera off of Goodwill, and that's about it. I'll probably pass unless I hear good things about it, because it's a Shudder original.
Shudder original. Dave?
All right. Faces of Death came out. The first one came out in 78. So I don't even think you were born yet, Pat.
I was born in 78.
You were born in 78. When the first movie came out, and I understand what you're saying about the taboo row at Blockbuster, but when the first movie came out, you could not get this. You basically had to bootleg this fucking thing and have somebody who recorded it off of, however they used to do things back in the day to record this thing. And
LimeWire, right?
Yeah, or people would sneak handheld cameras into theaters and shit.
They did the same thing with like Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, right.
If I do recall. Same
remember that
sort
guy
of.
that Jerry Seinfeld recorded movies for with the camera inside the theater? That you had to buy it from there.
You're not going to watch this, so why are you commenting? I just don't understand.
Comment.
Man, Faces of Death. Try the Faces of Dave.
Who's the villain here?
I know.
Who's the villain? Why are you overstepping?
None of it really bugs me, because eventually you'll all miss a week and I'll still be here.
And then you'll bury us. No, when this
movie is
movie
coming up on bowling tournament season.
That's true. When this movie came out, when you first saw it, like you're saying, a lot of the deaths were faked and stuff. You didn't know that in 1978 or 1980. You thought this was real. And I mean, like this, the stuff that stands out, the electric chair death scene, traumatized so many of us into thinking, holy shit, is that really what happens with the electric chair? You think about the Green Mile, right? When the one guy gets electrocuted and they remove the moisture from the cap, and it's this horrific scene. So, I mean, that's kind of what made the Faces of Death so unique, is that you weren't sure what was real and what was not. And in the end, all that stuff was staged. Not all of it. I mean, there's real autopsy footage. There's real plane crash aftermath footage. There's real aspects to it. But the stuff that they showed, like the monkey brain thing, that's one that stands out. That was faked. I think it was in Faces of Death 2 where the gal jumps out of the airplane and gets blown into a gator pit. That's, that was all fabricated. So
what?
Yeah.
That's fake?
That was fake, Dave. But, along those lines, I have no interest in seeing this, because I know going into it that this is completely fabricated. This is all, like Dave said, it's a Shudder original, so it's going to be hit and miss whether it's worth a shit or not. But what made the Faces of Death movies so unique can't be replicated in 2026. So why am I going to bother with this?
And I think the last film in horror that had people guessing, like legitimately had people guessing, was what, Blair Witch with the found footage marketing campaign. Now, it didn't take long for the gig. Like if you'd watched a Steak and Shake commercial in the Midwest, you knew that it wasn't real because the actress that is in Blair Witch did Steak and Shake commercials for years before getting that film.
Right.
And so I remember, oh, it's the Steak and Shake chicks. Like you knew it wasn't real, but that was the first. That was in my mind sort of the last like truly.
No, we had
campaign where
paranormal.
people-
We had paranormal activity. That definitely, the first one definitely had people thinking that was real.
But there were
I
actual
don't know.
actors in there. That's the only.
Some people
difference. I
thought
think
that
what
the
Patrick
Steak and
is
Shakes
saying-
were haunted, though.
I mean, it's fair. It's fair. Ray,
Yes.
you do enjoy a good horror flick here or there. I don't know if you ever got as far as Faces of Death, but your thoughts on this trailer before we move on.
I just like to let it be known that I believe in Jesus because this shit makes you
Hallelujah.
check. Boy, this was a hell of a trailer. I have not seen such things before. I have not heard of such things before.
A little after your time, or a little before your time.
For sure. I'll say this. I love horror. I don't mind gore. I'm not one of those people that don't like gore. I don't like gore for the sake of gore. It's got to be a purpose. I think Saw does a great kind of mix, juxtaposition between crazy gore and for the purposes of actually being there.
Right.
But Aesop said the loud shit out loud. It's on Shudder. This could probably be garbage. The
It
good
could
thing is, I know
There
Dr.
have been
Montgomery.
good Shudder originals. I'll just say
agree.
that.
I agree. And to that point, the two main characters in this movie, we know who they are. Dr. Montgomery was Jason, the Red Ranger in Power Rangers, and he's in Stranger Things, I think. And Barbie Fiera was one of the girls in the original season of Euphoria. So these are not no names. I don't know. I'm gonna watch it, my boy. There might be a little much for me, dog. I might be on the PC Tony like laying and stuff.
The one real comment I would make about it is it would seem if you wanted to do something that was staged or something to that nature, like the presence of AI now would make that a lot easier and to do as a filmmaker and a lot harder to disseminate as someone, taking in the medium. But like just to round it out, now that I made a serious comment, I would say my least favorite gore would be Al. Definitely. No?
You tried.
Yeah.
Here's your at least you tried cake.
He did invent the internet.
He did. He also discovered climate change.
Man Bear Pig. Shout out to Man
Back
Bear
to your Man Bear Pig. Yeah. Back to your comment though about gore for the sake of gore. I'm there too. I'm not a torture porn fan. Like I'm not one of those people.
Hostel
I like-
and all that stuff.
Yeah, Hostel. Like it just at some point it's like, what is the purpose? Terrifier to an extent. The later Terrifier
Martyrs.
films.
Remember, Dave, we talked about Martyrs a
Martyrs.
couple years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like those are the sorts of films that like to a point I get it, but yeah, at some point we go away. The next film we got our first sort of true trailer for. It's been teased a couple of times, but a more complete trailer came out this week for Lee Cronin's take on The Mummy. And as I watched this trailer, I gotta say it has me intrigued. I don't know how intrigued, like whether I'm show up to the theater intrigued or if I'm watch it when it hits HBO or whatever intrigued. But the concept is really interesting because this trailer centers around these parents who are like on an outing with their kids, with their family, when they get a call from the police saying, "We found your daughter." And their daughter's name is Katie. And they're like, "But we need to warn you about her state." And so when they find their daughter, she looks fudged up, y'all. She just looks really fudged up. And she's not talking. And she's behaving very strangely. And then we start seeing bugs and vomiting into each other's mouth of stuff and twisted smiles and creepy child motions through darkened houses and the mystery of what exactly happened to young Katie. So I'm intrigued. I don't know that I'm all the way there yet, but I am intrigued. We're going to go in reverse order. We're going to start with Raymond this time. Reverend,
Yes.
your thoughts on Lee Cronin's The Mummy trailer. No Brendan Fraser in sight.
Let me say this as matter of fact as I can say it. All of you know Ray. Some of you have the pleasure to know Rance. If you know Rance don't do desert movies. If you know what's understood, don't need to be explained. If you don't, you don't need to know shit. So this is a no for me, dog.
Wait, does that mean you
It's
don't
not
watch
all. There's only little bits in the desert. What?
Did you watch like Matthew McConaughey's Sahara.
Well, that's a classic.
There were things in the desert that we don't need to talk about that Rance doesn't fuck with and cannot see
I
visually.
thought we were gonna have to change your name to Anakin Cash because you just hate sand.
It gets
No,
everywhere.
Tatooine's cool. Like I can rock with sand. It's certain things. We'll leave it at that. Spider-Man's gonna be pretty tough for your boy when it come out. I'm
Yeah.
just saying. We don't need to say it out loud because Rance will drop off the call. We can keep going.
Hard pass for Ray on the Mummy. Dave Ungar.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I don't know if I've seen the Mummy portrayed in this way before because you've got the thing about Katie in this thing is she's been missing for 8 years. So like what happened in that 8-year period? She's, and you get the feeling that there's almost a ring of child abductions that are like going and mummifying these children, which of course with everything going on with the Epstein files is going to touch some definite nerves.
Wow. Dude.
I'm just saying it's a pretty easy jump to make, but
Connecting some dots.
try to connect dots.
Suddenly you're what's his name in front of the bulletin board with the
Right.
strings.
Charlie
Yeah.
Day.
But I think that's the idea. It's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. And this trailer definitely does accomplish that. You feel very uncomfortable about like, okay, what have they done to these kids? They've turned them into living mummies. And especially near the end where she's talking to her grandmother and says, death is fun. So there's some really weird shit going on here. This is a much more mature, true horror version of this story that has, like you said, has nothing to do with Brendan Fraser or Rachel Weisz. This is something completely different. There is no campiness. I'm like you, Pat. I don't know if I'm all the way in, but I'm interested enough that this is going to be worth it.
Do love a good creepy kid horror film.
Yes.
Like I do. Like just a weird child horror film can go a long way. I sat through way more of Village of the Damned because of creepy children. So, and I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Well, like the stuff with the kids in It or Welcome to Derry. That's some of the best stuff or Weapons. I mean, all that sort of
Weapons
stuff.
is
Weapons
just
is
glorious.
fire. Yeah.
That is fire. Aesop, to you, sir, horror expert that you are.
Okay, so this thing also has an initial thing that you need to look out for. And right at the beginning, it says Blumhouse. And that is another studio that is a major hit and miss in terms of the horror genre. Now, there are two things as well, though, that I do want to give it credit that it work in its favor. One, James Wan. And two, the studio that did bring us Weapons. I'll tell you right now, say what you want about James Wan. He's got a more positive track record than a negative one.
Yeah, but I will say I truly find him to be hit or miss as well. Like I really do. Like
it plays
that one
into
with
the Blumhouse
chick
thing.
with the like fetus in her head, like whatever that one was. I thought that movie was dumb, just straight up dumb. But anyway, that's just me.
Well,
Pat
and
God hates fetuses. No.
James Wan works for Blumhouse. It works in the favor of Blumhouse because Blumhouse doesn't do gore, really.
Right.
But they do jump scares. And this movie is going to be full of jump scares, especially if James Wan is attached to it. So be ready for that. It's definitely creepy. It's got a different look behind it than most Blumhouse films. So again, I like to think it works in a more positive favor than what I would normally associate with a Blumhouse film.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Like I said, the trailer is a good trailer.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, it's a very good trailer. I think it does a great job of really setting up. To me, it felt more mystery thriller-esque with creepy horror elements as opposed to that straight-up horror. Like, the big question is, what the hell happened to this kid? And how did we get there? Now, the fact that there were like 56 other mummies and none of them are alive, mildly concerning.
Look, I'm just going to say it too. Like that child is messed up looking. I don't know how quickly I'm taking that kid home.
Right. Like, why would I be like, yes, she needs me.
In more
She
ways
needs
than
me. No,
one,
thank
right?
you.
It's not just like a personal thing of just like, but also like, I'm pretty sure you're going to be in an institution for a little while.
A doctor of some sort should be looking at an emaciated child that's been pulled out of a sarcophagus for 8 years. Like, how are we explaining this? But that's okay. I have other mysteries of the universe I need to solve, like how in the world this podcast, with the sports fans that we are, missed the trailer for this series on Amazon that I think hit Amazon Prime streaming 2 weeks ago, about around Valentine's Day-ish, if I'm not mistaken. And that is Soul Power, the legend of the American Basketball Association. And for those of you who are perhaps of the younger generations, once upon a time in the United States, there were two professional basketball leagues. There was the NBA, that we all know and love and still exists today. And many of the franchises that are currently a part of the NBA were once part of a basketball organization that challenged the NBA, known as the American Basketball Association. Their most famous player of all time, arguably, is Dr. J, Julius Erving. It's a fascinating document. Other names, George Karl was heavily involved with the ABA, Larry Brown. Oh gosh, I'm going to forget. Barry, George
Gervin.
Gervin.
Scored 1 million points down there.
Right. And so it has this interesting, like, sort of 10-year history. It was started in the late 60s, ended mid to late 70s. I want to say like 76, 77, somewhere in there is where the ABA kind of says goodbye, like just before I was born. But it was a very interesting period in a league that did everything it could to be an upstart to the NBA. And some of the greatest players of all time, some of them even cut their teeth in the ABA before going to the NBA. I mean, not being picked or drafted to the NBA, but going to the ABA, showing that they could play, and then being poached by the NBA. It was very interesting. It gave us the 3-point shot. It gave us the slam dunk contest. I've been watching this series all weekend. I have one episode left, the end of the ABA and how that all falls apart. It's been a very cool series, and I was going to save it for what you're watching, but we're also talking about the trailer. And it's just so fascinating to learn how many different things the ABA created as a catalyst for modernizing basketball and pushing the NBA forward into an era that we now recognize today. He hasn't spoken yet this whole trailer park, really. We're going to start with Tunney and his reactions to this trailer, basketball fan that he is as well. And that's not a joke. He likes professional basketball. Tunney, take it away. Your thoughts on this trailer, and are you going to check this out?
It's funny, I do like professional basketball more than college, even though I can't stand the fact that you can travel now. I think playing sports as much as I have and as many different sports as I have for as long as I had in my life, there's nothing more fun to me than like a pickup game of basketball, right? Like just getting out there and like a good 4-on-4 game is so much fun. The ABA kind of represents that, the up and down nature of the ABA, the flow, it was a lot prettier game than the NBA. But I have to say, when it comes to sports in America, the Americans stand no chance against the Nationals. The Nationals continue to just dominate the Americans, whether it's basketball or football. You never, you don't remember the American Baseball League either, because they never existed. But this seems fun. I wish they'd bring back the red, white, and blue ball. I think that was pretty cool. But yeah, screw Dr. J for not coming to the Bucks when we drafted him. That son of a bitch.
That was a take.
Wow.
He did try to go to the Hawks too for 10 days. That didn't work either. Ray, I'll pass it over to you. Your thoughts on the ABA documentary.
So I'll speak genuinely. I don't know what Tony just did. The ABA there is no NBA without the ABA, and I know that sounds crazy because of what we know the NBA to be now, but they always like to tell you the story of how before Magic and Bird came into the league in '84 or 80, I'm sorry, 79 and 80 respectively. The finals were on tape delay. Nobody was watching, and those two helped reinvigorate the league. You know how else they helped reinvigorate the league? They stole all the stuff that made the ABA fun. And when I don't still is a bad word because the ABA kind of disbanded and was divested into the NBA.
They were absorbed.
Absorbed is a better word. Yes, thank you, Mr. Lawyer. I appreciate that consigliere.
I'm here.
But the things we know now. So all of us 5 grew up in a Sports Center-esque generation where highlights were a part of our day and part of our sports watching. Can you imagine watching any type of basketball highlight without the majority of it being revolved around some sort of slam dunk or some sort of crazy three? You can't. And the reason we're able to do that is because the ABA allowed those things to thrive. They created the 3-point line. They didn't just take the slam dunk, because if you remember when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was dunking on everybody down at UCLA, college basketball banned the dunk. Like, people didn't want to use the dunk because they thought it was too easy for certain people to use, and other, let's say, undercurrents of revolving it. So the ABA was such an amazing.
It's
kind
okay,
of-
Ray. You can say the white people couldn't dunk. It's fine.
What Patrick said.
They made a movie about it, Ray.
Well, sure, but I mean, I don't want to. I'm the black dude. I don't want to always be
TV
saying the
series.
black stuff.
You can hear Jimmy, but you ain't listening.
So the ABA was counterculture before counterculture was cool, with the way they dressed, the way they acted. If you've seen Semi-Pro, that is not too far gone from a lot of the things that were happening in some of these franchises. But it's also really, really cool and not lost on me that a lot of the secondary leagues have created the things that make the major leagues cool. The XFL is another. The original XFL was a joke. But you know how much shit the NFL stole from the XFL? Camera angles and whatnot? So all it is just bad business, but good ideas. And so, slam dunk, Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time, but a lot of that was predicated off of air, dunking, the things he could do that nobody else could do. Steph Curry is one of the greatest players of all time. He's a great player. He's actually really underrated in the paint. But you know him for one thing. That boy is shooting from 75 feet away. So, like, thank the ABA for the things they've done for society. Thank the ABA for the things they've done for sports and fashion and culture and all of these things. I mean, you see the afros flying, and Dr. J played games with a pick in his hair, bro. What are we doing? Like, you know what I'm talking about? So shout out to the ABA.
There's a whole section of the documentary that talks about the fashion and look of players, and Dr. J is at the center of it. One of the other things I think is cool that I did not know until I watched this documentary is, did you know that Bob Costas' first gig was play-by-play for the St. Louis ABA franchise?
The Spirits?
Like, yeah, he was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I seriously watched this documentary, and you talked about like the way the games changed. It really impacted how contracts work and how players could play, because before the ABA, you couldn't be a professional basketball player in the NBA until your college class
That's right.
graduated college.
That's
And it's not Julius Erving. I can't remember the name of the player that they brought on, but they signed this guy after 1 year of college. He then played that year, won the MVP. They looked at his contract. His lawyer finally looked at his contract, and they were like, "You're making this much money," but he was really making significantly less. He then jump shipped and challenged the NBA's talent rule, which resulted in an antitrust lawsuit that allowed
O'Bannon,
players.
right? That's
No,
later on.
way before O'Bannon. This, Sonny, if you found the name, your mic was up. We didn't see it. Oh, okay. I'll look
Spencer
it up.
Haywood.
I'll effort it. Spencer Haywood. Thank you.
It's
So
Spencer Haywood, yeah.
The GOAT!
So Spencer Haywood wasn't going to be able to play in the NBA, so he signed with the ABA at age 19. When he turned 20 and he saw that his contract was ripping him off, he went to then go be signed by the Sonics in the NBA. And other teams refused to allow him in the arena. They would put injunctions against him playing. So he sued it. It went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled in favor of an antitrust lawsuit to allow him to play. And that is why you can have 18 to 20-year-old or 22-year-olds play basketball before they graduate college.
For the record, in the history of every sport ever created and played in America, there are not 10 people who are more interesting and have more of a crazy story than Spencer Haywood. If you care anything about sports, I would implore you to go look up what that man has gone through, what he's done, what he's dealt with. My God, talk about a legend.
And now what's crazy is you can go to the G League and then come back and play at Rutgers, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But
At Rutgers?
or wherever, pretty
Boys
much
getting
anywhere.
signed to the NBA, then going back
St. John's, where was it?
draft.
It was Alabama.
Well,
Alabama.
Betty Yako
Alabama.
got denied though, but Betty Yako got that got
Didn't the
overturned.
dude play for Alabama though?
He played like one or two
He
games.
still
Well,
played. He was in the
still
league.
He
playing.
did, but then he got injuncted. So, Dave, last thoughts. Wrap up Soul Power for us.
Yeah, it's one I want to check
Hey,
out.
Sop, did I skip you too?
You did.
It's fine. It's fine.
If you wanna
I
go-
only have a lot of knowledge about the ABA, but that's fine. It's cool.
I think Dave should
No
go
big
then.
deal.
It looks like-
you spent 6 hours talking about the horror genre too. So like,
Yeah.
The shirt you're wearing
Whoa,
really
6
does lead
hours.
us to believe you have a lot of knowledge about the ABA, by the way.
Yeah, my nerf.
somebody
my nerf.
you talk about this.
No, I think
well-
like. Go ahead, Dave.
I was going to say, first of all, let me just tell you, the ABA is not dead. It's still currently running. There are over 120 teams in the ABA, and have been roughly 700 different teams since 2000. So it's still around, and you can buy your own ABA franchise for a mere $10,000.
Let's go.
So have fun with that.
It's like
go.
opening up a Subway. It's like opening up
Yeah.
a Subway.
It
It's
is
semi-pro, boys. It's
insane.
getting traded for
Franchise
laundry
fee.
machines, dog. It's
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. I was just busy trying to look up what some of the ridiculous names that are on there. Because let me tell you, there's a bunch. If I can tell you anything, go and look up the ABA in terms of teams, and that'll just give you a lot of joy seeing some of the garbage names that were put out there. But yeah, I'll catch this because like Ray, like Pat, like you said, like a lot of people just say straight up, the ABA is fun. There was a lot of weird gimmicks and a lot of weird stuff that got brought into real life. And I mean, why not? Let's get some more of the lesser known entities.
Dave, anything else before I bow this up?
Yeah, the only thing I would say, the big thing I took away from the ABA is that they did more to break down the racial barriers than the NBA ever did. And I think the ABA was instrumental in that because you had black and white fans, and they talk about it on the trailer, getting together and cheering this new, fresh approach that the ABA had to basketball. What I didn't realize until I looked it up is that near the end of it, right before the merger, when the two leagues would have exhibition games, the ABA was winning 60% of those. So it's very analogous to the way the AFL kind of forced the merger with the NFL by beating them in the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is one of the great sort of stats to look at because there were a lot of naysayers about the talent level at the ABA, and obviously that wasn't the case. The other last fun fact that I learned out of this documentary is that the first woman-owned franchise to win a championship was in the ABA in Kentucky. Fun fact. The Colonels. Kentucky Colonels.
I love the OG ABA names. Come on, the St. Louis Spirits, the Virginia Chaparrals, like some dope
Was the
names,
Kentucky
bro.
was Colonel Sanders
Virginia
the Kentucky
Squires.
Colonels? Was that the
Virginia Squires.
mascot, Colonel Sanders?
No, but there was definitely some Kentucky Fried Chicken connections that did happen
Yes.
on that show.
That's where we
Definitely
get the
go watch
Spurs
this.
and the
Clearly,
Pacers and the Nets from, yeah.
right. Clearly, we as a group endorse this show, even if some of us haven't watched it all yet. I think most of us are going to. All right, last trailer. I'm going to let Ray talk on this one first because he is the flag bearer for the new Mortal Kombat film franchise, a franchise that I don't mind exists, but I don't need it to exist. And and that's fine. Carl Urban's in it. He's Johnny Cage. Grizzled, tired of life, Johnny. He's basically, I don't know. Sure, he has been pulled into the otherworldly tournament to fight for the, Earth's existence. I can see that Aesop should talk about this second, but
Me and Aesop have had an argument on air about this very movie, the first one.
Here's the thing: it's a perfectly harmless film. Perfectly harmless film. This will be a perfectly harmless film. It'll probably do fine. The first one did well enough to warrant a sequel. The OG Mortal Kombat series that generated more films than it deserved to. So I can only imagine what this is going to do.
One other one?
No, I think there's a third one out there somewhere.
There was a
No.
third one, but it was trash. It was garbage.
I'm gonna look it up while Ray talks. Ray talks about that, I'm gonna effort the OG Mortal Kombat series.
The third one was on Pornhub.
Finish him, right, Tony? Finish him.
More whole combat?
Kind of writes itself, right?
It does. It
Boy.
really does.
These are my friends, y'all.
Say it louder, Ray.
So I don't want to fake the funk and make people think that I think Mortal Kombat is like Scorsese and Jace. I know what it is. We understand what we're getting into when we watch the movie. But what I appreciated about it and enjoyed in the first movie and what I'm looking forward to in the second movie is I appreciate the adaptation of what the characters did and how they got to where they got. Yeah, I know. Sorry, Dave. Sorry, Sop. I enjoyed it very much. I enjoy origins. I enjoy learning why people have the abilities to do things. So I don't agree with everything that happened in that movie. And I know a lot of the point of contention in the movie, amongst a lot of other things, was that the main character was a dude that's not in the game, Kohan. You ain't see one image of him in the commercial for this. Now, to that point, I love Carl Urban. We all love Carl Urban, Billy Butcher, amongst many other things. I was watching one of my favorite movies with my kids that we watched when they were little, Pete's Dragon. Carl Urban's in Pete's fucking Dragon. He's been in everything. Carl Urban is in no. I am Johnny Cage more than Carl Urban is. That's not Johnny Cage, bro. There's no way, form, fashion. It hurts my heart to see him try to be Johnny Cage. I hate it. I hate it with everything in my being. So that's gonna hurt the enjoyment of this movie a little bit. I actually was hoping for Miz to get the role, even though he wouldn't have been the best Johnny Cage, but he'd been 10 times better. However, we're finally getting into the actual tournament, which we didn't get into last one because the Never Realm or whatever, I can't remember the fucking other.
Because they were planning for sequels.
Right, but sure, well,
Franchise.
but in terms of the story, Kang Sung was like, I ain't fucking with these dudes. We're gonna kill them before we get to the tournament, but there ain't no tournament. That didn't work. So we're getting the tournament. We're getting to see some still stuff. Baraka actually looks as good as you can make Baraka look without full CGI. Because Goro, I believe, was full CGI. Yeah, Goro.
Better than whatever they did with Melina.
Well, see, that's the thing about that race of people in their faces, dog. It's kind of really hard to pull that shit off.
Yeah, it ain't pretty.
But
So
Jackson, I
real
think
quick,
Jackson's done well. I think Sonya was done well. I think Liu Kang was done well. I hate that they killed off Kung Lao. We just disagree, my boy. I'm sorry.
so just to interject, the original Mortal Kombat film came out in 1995. It's currently sitting at IMDb with a Metascore of 60. Mortal Kombat Annihilation came out in 97. That is sitting at a Metascore of 11.
Yeah.
Then in 1998, we got a TV series, Mortal Kombat Conquest, that is so good it has no rating. Oh, it has a 6.2 star rating. Let's see, chronologically. So that's 99. Then we take about a 10-year break for Mortal Kombat Rebirth. There's a lot. There's
By
just,
the way,
yeah.
you gotta love white people playing Asian gods. That's always fun.
Hey, Christopher Lambert was totally believable.
A 13/14-year-old PC Tony got his 67-year-old grandfather and 62-year-old grandmother to take him to go see the original Mortal Kombat movie in the theaters.
I saw,
And Grandma said that was very nice, and Grandpa was like, that was a lot better than I thought.
can I tell you, I will admit that I don't think I dragged my parents because by that time I was old enough to go to a movie on my own. I may have paid money to see Annihilation in the theater.
These are the same grandparents that took a 5-6-year-old Tony to see Platoon, by the way.
Second one, dog? Ooh.
I did it. I'm not proud of it.
Stop. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, yeah, and then we got to take our first commercial break. So,
okay, well, I'll tell you right now. I'll start off by saying, Ray, this one does look better than the first one. I will give it that much credit because that first movie is boring. You have one character that is worth a damn, and that's Kano. He's the only one that ever gave me any sort of reason to actually want to listen. And clearly they know how good he was because they brought him back from the goddamn dead in this movie. And that is already all types of questionable, but whatever. It is what it is. That first movie was so boring, and Raiden was a complete jag the whole time. The CGI was just dog shit. Cole Haan is exactly what you said he was. He was terrible, and the idea that they're going to create a brand new entity to be the main character is just wild. And then you had horrible characters getting brought in, like Reiko, right? Isn't that who the big ass Nathan Jones was playing? Just some horrible character choices. They butchered Natara. What the hell is that? This movie,
Komodo, my favorite character of all time, they put him in that.
He was a choice. I don't think he was bad. I just think there still was there was an opportunity to make him better and make him more important than what he actually got. This new movie, I think it looks better than what it is. And I will say, don't hate on the Carl Urban choice right now, but I'll tell you right now, from that trailer, he is not Johnny Cage. There is zero sass, zero back talk, zero wit, and that just is what Johnny Cage is known for.
So can I ask, I'm going to ask this question to the group, because I do think, has Carl Urban hit that stage in acting where it's not a character, it's just Carl Urban in a look?
No.
You don't think so?
Carl Urban has this is funny. Certain actors have the ability to do this. They are different characters with and without facial hair. There's Carl Urban, clean shaven, and there's Carl Urban with the beard. With the beard, you think of guys like Billy Butcher. You think of guys like the dude from Ragnarok. And then you think of when he plays without the clean shaven stuff, I think of my boy from Pete's Dragon. I think of somebody a little family friendly. Can talk to my moms. Like, he has that ability to switch. But he is a bit typecast based on the facial hair. I give you that. Those two tend to run the same.
Carl Urban is more of a playful individual. So like Billy Butcher is Carl Urban, right? This Johnny Cage, as of right now, does not show that to be Carl Urban. Also, by the way, at first Mortal Kombat, also very well known for having Brigitte Wilson, who then left before the sequel could go and shoot Billy Madison. So thank you, Brigitte.
Sonny, you were about to chime in.
He's Billy Butcher. He is.
Dave?
Period.
Look, I didn't care much for the first movie. I think we actually reviewed that on the Nerd Review back in the day, Pat, and it was just, if it's going to make Ray happy, I'm happy, but I've got zero interest in this thing.
Hey, Black History Month ended yesterday. It's fine. You don't have to make him happy anymore.
Well,
hey,
I think
1.5 people on the show is offended.
Ray, why don't you change your name to Cody Cash? To...
Come
on, Ray. You know, there's the
change
heart.
Your name to,
Look,
or you just change your name
this
to
heart's
Raheem.
for Ray.
Raheem.
Ray, you know I love you. You know I love you. Nothing but love.
That's funny as hell.
All right. Real quick, is Montaro the Centaur thing?
Yes.
He was played by an American Gladiator in Annihilation?
Yes.
That's right. Right. They played the California dude. Anyway, I don't remember his name. Dude, sometimes when I'm bored, I just watch an old episode. What?
Has Mrs. American Gladiators come out yet?
I don't know.
There's a new American Gladiator coming out, and
Yeah, he's the host, and because that's the reason why Wardlow and Camille weren't quote unquote used, because they were on the show.
One of my nicknames is Twisted Steel and Sex Appeal.
All right. Well, we'll look for that in the future. When that trailer hits, we'll watch that on a trailer park, I'm sure. We're going to take our first commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk some news around the Nerdosphere before we hand the show over to Mr. Ray Cash. So stick around for all of that. You are listening to Bandwagon Nerds here on the Chairshot Radio Network, part of the Chairshot.
This is your boy Kenny Killer telling you to make sure you check out thechairshot.com, bringing you breaking news, interviews, podcasts galore, everything pro wrestling. Make sure you check it out, thechairshot.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Bandwagon Nerds here on the Chairshot Radio Network as part of the Chairshot.com, where we remind you to always use your head. Make sure you head over to ProWrestlingTees.com/the Chairshot for all of your Chairshot swag needs. We have PC Tunney, Ray Cash, Sop Mitchell, Attitude of Aggression himself, David Ungar, all of us here on a loaded bandwagon. 5 listeners, you did not come back. You just stayed for an awkward silence. So thank you for staying for the awkward silence, live listener. Appreciate you as well. Those of you who are, losers and not listening as we stream, are listening to us on the stream. We want some questions. 5 questions will be fun. Come join us. Join our reindeer games at the Attitude of Aggression YouTube channel, or follow PC Tunney at PC Tunney, as he will post that link right away. Get a goal for y'all. So make sure you check it out. All right, gentlemen, I was having a good vacation. I come home on Wednesday, and I open up the internet after getting off the cruise ship, because you don't have internet on a cruise ship unless you pay for it. And I'm like, Paramount's still trying, huh? As they offered yet another bid to purchase Warner Brothers Discovery. Shortly thereafter, a Variety article pops up where Warner Brothers Discovery says, this is a better deal, Netflix, than your deal. You have 2 days to match it, or we're going to stop this merger. Netflix went, that's cool, bro. Deuces, stepped out of the negotiation and cleared the way for Paramount to finally, after about 7 bajillion attempts to purchase Warner Brothers Discovery, finally does. Now, I'm going to do the little politically part first as to why this matters and why I'm very concerned about this. Dave Ellison, who is the lead purchaser of this, is a deeply embedded billionaire tied to the president of the United States, Donald Trump, was at the State of the Union address as a guest of the GOP the day before this turn of events happened. And then the turn of events happens. And if this gets approved, which I see no reason why it won't with how fast it's being allowed to be fast-tracked and move forward, means that CNN, CBS, a large portion of our news networks, a large portion of our entertainment networks will actually have deeply strong ties to a political party and the President of the United States. And that is, in my opinion, and I will say this in Patrick O'Dowd's opinion, horrible for the entertainment industry, because we are getting closer. That is closer and closer to state-run media, and that will impact the type of films we get. It will impact the type of news you receive. It will impact the type of articles that you read, and that is very, very important to keep in mind and under consideration while we look at this purchase that has changed. The other thing I don't buy, and this is about the purchase itself, is that this is magically going to mean that more Warner Brothers films will end up in theaters. Every one of these mergers that happens and takes place actually results in the purchased company having less output than what they did before they were merged. This happened with Fox. This has happened with, I forget a couple of the other ones, but there's a whole running stat. Like if you get if another company buys you and merges, your company puts out less stuff. So quite the turn from where we were 2 weeks ago before I went on vacation. We'll go with the lawyer first.
Yeah, this certainly came out of nowhere, right? I mean, we've been talking for 2 months about how, it's like, dude, she doesn't want to date you. That's how we kind of analogize this for weeks, for like a couple months, was like every bid that Paramount made, the shareholders were against it, to the staggering amount of 96% of the shareholders wanted the Netflix deal. But you get to a point where if you're Warner Brothers, and this last deal jumped from $30 a share to $31 a share, plus with the ticker, plus Paramount saying, yes, Netflix, we will pay the $2.8 billion for the deal breaker here. At some point, and I have nothing but respect for Netflix for walking the fuck away from this thing and saying, no, dog, this is, there were a lot of people in Netflix, when you read this Variety article, a lot of people at Netflix who were very concerned about this deal, didn't think it was in their best interests, are probably breathing a hefty sigh of relief that they do not have to go through with this thing. And they got paid $2.8 billion just for the threat of actually acquiring Warner Brothers. So to me, the big winner in this whole thing is Netflix. Don't kid yourself. They won this whole thing. Yes, they don't get the Warner Brothers library. They don't get all that stuff. They also don't take on $7 billion worth of debt that Paramount is taking on right now to pull this thing off. Everything you said politically is very true, Pat, that it does create a situation where, Paramount now has a big controlling stake in many assets and facets of mainstream media, which I think this nation is still far too reliant on mainstream media, and it still has too much of a sway on this thing. From the standpoint of, what Paramount is going to get with this, I do think that, you will see an impact on this in the theaters with less things going that way. I mean, some of the big franchises, the DC stuff may not feel it that much, but some of the other ones will. But, it's at some point, and I like what Netflix did. They did not wait to say deuces. They said, the guy's like, if you know after day one that you're not going to match this, and why wait 4 days to it? They just said, we're out of here. And I think that was the right move to make, clear the pathway. From Netflix, there's got to be people laughing, saying, if you guys are willing to do this much just to get this shitty deal, by all means, kill yourself. It's a surprising turn of events, to be sure, because it didn't seem like it was possible. But if you're just going to keep throwing money at a company, sooner or later, Zaslav's going to be like, what am I going to do right now? And that's what they did.
And Zaslav even said, he was like, we have absolutely nothing to lose. Like, if this doesn't go through, we just keep trying to sell Warner Brothers.
Yeah, but
So
make no mistake, Netflix won this deal, clearly.
And I mean, it was really interesting. Their stocks jumped like 10%. Like
Yes.
right after they jumped out of it.
Every one of their
pulled out of the deal.
shareholders said, whew, we dodged a bullet there.
It's just fascinating how hard they hammered after this. I'm going to go to my left of Dave here. I'll go counterclockwise to me. So, Ray, you, with the purple explosion behind you, your thoughts on this stunning change?
First off, it's a comic book background. Get it right. Shout out to Battle Royale Madness. Secondly, a lot of people will have you believe today that this is just a very simple business deal. And there's not a lot of people uniquely qualified to talk about this as much as us. Because to our chagrin, we have covered this weekly damn near 4 months since the beginning. So we all have a unhealthy amount of knowledge about the happenings of the deals, the chatter, the conversation and whatnot. Which leads me to my second point that Patrick really kind of touched on. I am aware that in this country that we live in, there are a number of people that like to pick and choose the laws that they can, will, and should obey. But there are a number of things that the founders of this country deemed important. So important that they made it the very First Amendment. And it's called the 5 freedoms. One of those freedoms is called freedom of the press. Freedom of the press is one of the very things that differentiates our democracy or republic, whichever, if you want to be specific, whatever you could consider us, from a lot of other countries that are dictatorships or oligarchies or kingdoms or whatnot. Because here, you have the right, if you are a journalist or a pundit, whatever you want to call it, us, 5 jabrones who just get on this call and talk whatever. And you can criticize the government. Well, you have 4 jabrones and a violent gentleman. And you can talk about the government, about our leadership, and you will not be held to task, right? So also that allows that if there is corruption in said areas, you are allowed to be the whistleblower or to report on these things and possibly bring about change. There is no freedom of the press if the people who the government owns, works with, or is in conjunction with own all of the press, which is a big portion of the reason why the people who own Paramount or run Paramount or are funding Paramount wanted this deal. And so I won't go into the specifics of it because we got a lot of people on the show today. We got a lot to talk about, other things to do. But this is way more, going back to my initial point, than a simple business deal. And I am disgusted right now. I don't care about... Tanya has had the best take on all of this the entire time. Who gives a flying fuck about billionaires and their billionaire problems? But today I am disgusted at these billionaire problems because these billionaire problems are going to affect us $100 folk.
You're getting $100?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, $100 is doable for us, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm
Fair
not
enough,
a billionaire, but I can get $100.
Right. All right. Let's roll into PC Tony. Just comments. I am concerned about our franchises too. Like, what does this mean for like DC? What does this mean
we
for?
haven't even talked about that shit.
Right. Tony, go ahead, bud.
So yeah, like the millionaires and the billionaires. Let me tell you how much I care about this, Patrick.
I know.
I applaud that man.
All right, Mr. Wortz, his mic is up.
Well,
Your mic is hot.
Hey, well, look, I'll actually care because there are a lot of things that I am unsure about with this acquisition. Not only like the franchises, like you were saying before, but like some of the lesser ones too. I wonder, like some of the original programming that HBO has. I want to know what happens to that. Because
does John Oliver keep his job?
Woo! If they got Colbert out the paint,
that I don't know. I would bet you that John Oliver gets a pretty high viewership between his thing. Honestly, it doesn't really matter.
His podcast will be great. I look forward to
God, it's going to be interesting. Someone will pick them up, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, we've already kind of went through the lack of that freedom that Ray mentioned earlier in the year, or I should say, in the overall year, right? With the Kimmel situation and among other things. I know it's happened a lot more in more local markets. Let's just hope and pray.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, we'll see, right? Technically, it still has to be approved. I do know there's congressional interest in this process and how this has gone the way it is. So who knows? It could be rejected by the FCC. LOL. Haha. We'll see what happens. LOL. But I mean, theoretically, it's still got some hoops to get through. All right, let's move on to more of our wheelhouse, things that we actually do care to talk about. These should be some quick hits for us in the news around the nerdistry.
Hey,
The
Pat,
first,
one thing. Would that be some shit if it got blocked on antitrust violations that Paramount was trying to lob against Netflix? Now that'd be some funny shit.
that would be really funny. And then it
God,
turns
we
around
can only
Netflix
hope.
buys it at its original price anyway. We'll
Yes.
see what happens. But the first salvo in the Dune Doomsday opening weekend story has hit, and that is that if you would like to see Avengers Doomsday on IMAX opening weekend in the United States, you will not, because Dune won the race. And opening weekend, Dune 3, I can't remember what, I don't know if it's got a subtitle to it yet, but Dune 3 got first dibs, basically. And so come May 1st or whatever it is, if you were hoping to see Doomsday on an IMAX at your local IMAX theater, you are not going to be able to. Now, Tunney was very quick to clarify that while I said bad news, Tunney, he will still get his X where the dude like feels your face while you're watching the movie, gives you a little,
Like
gives you,
Kentucky
like,
Fried Movie.
punches you in the chest when the gunshots go off,
Tunney vision.
you know, rubs his shoulders when all that good stuff happens.
Yes. and
Anyway,
I pay a gnome to sit and tickle my feet as well.
Put
There
down
you
that
go. Very
knife,
good.
Carol.
anyway,
God, you
Um,
guys are ridiculous.
it's an interesting, I don't know that it's really that big a deal. I do think it's a very interesting thing as these two movies, neither one is budging, and now it is like who's going to get the best of the other. I don't think that this means that Dune's going to magically beat Doomsday in the box office, but that is a bigger source of ticket revenue that is going to Dune over Doomsday. Aesop, you can go first this time.
Can I be honest? I don't really
No.
You
care.
can say you don't care.
No.
Yeah,
That's fine.
and
No.
I'll be frank. Like Marvel has a lot to make up for in my life because the track record.
Did you
as
watch
of
Wonder
late-
Man?
No,
It's good.
no. Most of the TV series were nothing to me, and I tried to watch them all, and I got over it. I didn't even see Fantastic Four, and that is I thought for sure I would see, but I'm just like whatever. It's Marvel. They
So
gotta
Dave has clearly quit.
at least on Marvel, man. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna be honest. Like, sorry, this feels like too ambitious of a overall
The
movie.
funny thing though is like three of the best things they've done, especially in a long while, have just happened between Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, and Wonder Man. They've fucking hit three run home runs right there.
Well, I will say, Dave and I's perspective have always been sort of divergent a little bit when it comes to Marvel, and I think our like you have. I remember a couple of years ago the villain problem that you discussed when it comes to the MCU. Here's the thing I will say, and I would encourage you to check out Wonder Man because it legitimately isn't like anything I've seen Marvel even try to do in a long, long time. The superhero element and aspect of it does kind of take a back seat to Simon Williams and what he's trying to do and accomplish. He does have powers, but it's interesting how this show has it play out. And it's just very different than anything that they've done in a long time. And that's all. And
Okay.
that's what I'll say about that. No, I'm not like I just think it's very different in my opinion.
No, I'm not. It's better than what I've been recommended in the past in terms of like why you should go and see X movie or TV show, because like they did that kind of with Hawkeye, and I thought Hawkeye was boring as hell.
And you might find Wonder Man boring. Like I'm not saying you won't. I do think it is an
Not
attempt
even
to
doing
go to do something different with a hero and a character, and I thought it was really interesting. Ray, I'll hand it over to you. And we'll just go Ray, Dave, Tony.
Tell
Ray,
Aesop,
Dave.
Ray, tell Aesop how you and him used to be friends. Tell him.
I mean, you hurt my heart there with the Hawkeye thing. It's cool. He doesn't deserve the double shot. It's okay. I still love you.
Well, look,
I still love you.
I've said this before in the past too. Christmas movies and TV shows, episodes of TV shows kind of suck. So again,
Well,
that's
Patrick.
why
You got beef for Patrick there. I don't give a fuck about Christmas shit.
Yeah, I fucking love Christmas shit.
So to the point, I'm going to use a term that I think a lot of people are going to mistake the point of the term. This is dirty boxing. I don't mean dirty in the sense that it's foul. I mean it's dirty in the sense that it's really clever how they got in, rope-a-dope their ass, and hit them in a couple of places to get a little bit ahead. This is a very smart thing for them to do because, as clearly Sop doesn't believe, Doomsday is going to dog walk Dune.
I didn't say that. I did not say that.
Okay.
I just said I don't really care
That's
about
respect.
Doomsday.
Respect. I understand, and I disagree with you entirely, but I don't fault your reasoning for that. I understand your reasoning completely. But from my vantage point, like it, don't like it, whatever it is, this movie, in terms of viewability, people who are gonna want to go see it, curiosity, just box office numbers, is going to dog walk Denis Villeneuve and Dune 3. And Dune 3 might be the better actual viewing experience. I don't know. It's going to dog walk them. So it is very smart of them to get in. They pulled a TNA. Yeah, okay, we can't get ratings. We can't get a TV channel, so we buy the fucking TV channel. They've partnered with IMAX to get this shit in the IMAX. So the biggest movie maybe of all time can't be in IMAX when it comes out. And again, dirty boxing, right? Because Dune had the day first. And Marvel was like, nah, son, we got it. So they came back. They brought him in close. And they headbutted their bitch ass one good time just to remind them, hey, I see you, my boy. Dirty boxing. I think it's clever as hell. I'm gonna be seeing this shit in tunnel vision then. So put the gnome by my feet and the hookers in my lap and whatever else, the blow on my fingers and my whatever Teddy does when he sees the movies, I'm watching it that way because I'm not gonna see Dune that weekend. I'm going to see Marvel.
I have said this multiple times now that I think Ray's overconfidence in this movie in Avengers Doomsday is interesting. I do agree that it will probably dominate this box office weekend, and I don't think that Marvel gives a flying fuck that it's not in IMAX. It will make zero difference. I still think that these guys should probably like have a sit down meeting with each other and say, how can we best leverage this so that we both benefit to the maximum extent from the fact that these two movies are coming out so close to each other. I mean, Ray's shaking his head like, yeah, Marvel and Disney don't care. They probably should.
What can they get from Dune, from HBO?
Nothing.
Or from Warner Brothers. Yeah, there's
nothing. I mean, an air of cooperation, but if they are really going for this whole Barbenheimer sort of scenario,
everybody love everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that it matters at all. The fact that this is, I mean, it almost makes Dune a niche sort of film now. That the best way to see it is in IMAX because you can't see Doomsday in IMAX.
But here's the thing, and I'm going to say this as a big fan of Dune and have watched both of Villeneuve's versions. I understand because that film, it reminds me of when I first went and saw The Lord of the Rings in theaters. The experience itself is significantly different and changes. And it's like Christopher Nolan is like this as well when he makes his films, where he is always in, as much as I hate him, Jim Cameron, they are the guys and the directors that are trying to push the limits of the movie theater going experience. Well, and Dune and Dune 2 really do.
I will say this. I'll say this. Dune 3 is going to be the better viewing experience in IMAX than Doomsday. I absolutely believe it'll be the better viewing experience on IMAX as far as just a viewing experience. Will it be the better movie? Maybe, maybe not. Will it outgross Doomsday? No chance in hell. There's zero chance in hell of that. But
dogs agree.
Yeah, they do. I get why they're doing it.
Well, let's talk about a movie franchise that is not going to outgross either of them because Paramount, bless their heart, they keep trying. They keep trying.
Sony.
No, this is Paramount. Sony
Paramount.
too.
Okay.
It's
Right.
Paramount first. Read your rundown.
I got it.
Boy, they're trying to make a G.I. Joe movie work. And boy, are they certainly barking up a direction if the rumored writers for these films are true. As the rumor is, much maligned and troubled sexual abuse accused writer Max Landis and comedian writer Danny McBride are writing 2 separate scripts that will potentially be merged to make one script. Or the other story floating about is one of those 2 scripts will go and the other will not. I only shared this because when I read this story, I was like, this is ridiculous. This can't be true. And then I looked at who posted and reported it. And Variety tends to check these things. And so for Variety to be the one that posted this news, I grew up on G.I. Joe. I love G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe has not worked as a film franchise 4 times now. Paramount, you got to let it go. And if you are going to try again, these are not the 2 dudes to write the script.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying.
Sorry. Paramount, you got to let it go. We know that they are not going to let it go. We just
It's true.
Well, this is a good point. Paramount doesn't seem to care about the consent very much now, do they?
You'd
No,
be
they do
better
not.
off bringing G.I. Joe franchise back as an adult animated series like Invincible.
Sure.
They
With an
actually did that.
amazing-
Watchmen.
With an amazing cast, though. But I mean, like now, like right now, like get
Right.
just an amazing, ridiculous voice cast behind it. Make it a little bit more adult, but tame enough so that you could still have teenagers get into it. That's what they need to do.
Right.
I'm-
If you
I'm-
hop onto Amazon, and search G.I. Joe, I can't remember what the name of it was like a mini series, but like it literally opens with them coming upon the corpse of Major Blood, the character Major Blood, who's been killed. Like, and I agree. I think that's a better direction. Like, I don't know why the Transformers can work as a film franchise and they can't get G.I. Joe right. I think that transforming robots, I do think make a little bit more science fiction sense and something we can wrap our head around as opposed to special American operations
that.
army team. Yeah,
can
go
answer
ahead,
that
Ray.
very simply for you. And I know at least 2 of the 4 of you are going to disagree, but I'm talking about the masses, not individually. Transformers to the masses is a fun movie.
Sure.
There's nothing fun about G.I. Joe.
I mean, you ever seen Shipwreck? He's pretty funny.
Well,
I didn't say there aren't fun people. The only
I'm
G.I. Joe
just
movie
kidding.
I ever enjoyed had Marlon Wayans as whatever the head guy, whatever head, because Marlon's funny. But the movies in general don't seem to be funny. Plus, when the people you hired to be the star of the movie don't want to be in the movie, Channing Tatum was like, "Kill me now." This is not a good thing. I'm gonna stick up for Paramount for 5 seconds because fuck them. But I understand this one thing. I understand why they keep wanting to do G.I. Joe movies because before they got before this shit happened and they fucking went into Warner Brothers and stole their shit. They don't have no real like movie characters that they can really keep going with, and clearly they're not the most creative people over there. So like you could only throw out Tom Cruise to do Top Gun or Mission Impossible so many damn times. What else they got going? You feel what I'm saying? So
I need to finish watching the Mission Impossible, the last 2 movies.
And the last thing I want to say is shout out to DJ Mindless Wrestling Podcast, 30 Minus Minutes, is the one who brought up the last Transformers movie we had with the homie Anthony Ramos ended with a post-credit teaser of the Joes meeting up with the Transformer people. Like, y'all don't even care about continuity in your shit. So,
well, they've met up before. They've been brought together in comics in the past and stuff.
But if they're doing a new G.I. Joe movie this doesn't seem like it's part of the sequence.
No, not at all. We're trying to make Fetch happen again, and it's just not working.
There we go.
Aesop, last thoughts on this one.
Well, the reason why the first run of G.I. Joe movies, or I shouldn't say first, I don't know, but like that late 2000s,
the Channing
didn't
Tatum
work.
one.
Yeah, the reason why
Marlon,
that
The Rock,
didn't work
Bruce Willis, yeah.
is because they changed way too damn much. And that right there is really going to make people insane.
Well,
especially
and
when
the
it's
sequel,
like
the sequel, they
everything.
killed Duke. Like Duke leaves the sequel so that The Rock can take over as Roadblock.
Because Channing Tatum hated the movie.
I
He
know,
never
I
wanted to be a part of
understand.
it. Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but like as a fan, you asking,
Got you.
you just told me about being a fan. As a fan, you can't do fucking G.I. Joe without Duke. That was Hasbro. Was it Hasbro or Mattel? Whoever did the cartoons, they learned that the hard way in the animated version of the Transformers movie because they killed Optimus Prime, and that literally killed the cartoon, killed the franchise. And they were like, whoa, well, we can't. They were going to do it to Duke as well. And they retconned the animated film that they couldn't release in theaters. It was released on TV and direct to video, but they were going to kill Duke, and they put him in a coma because they learned the hard way. People cared about the characters. They gave a shit.
Yes. Yeah. And
Sorry,
that's,
I
and
did
that's
not mean
why
to completely bogart your.
you're
stuff
totally fine. Like I said, that's the reason why those movies failed so bad. Especially like you said, Roadblock. I'm sorry. The most iconic thing about Roadblock is he speaks in fucking rhymes, and we didn't
Hell
get
yeah.
any of that bullshit. And that's what we're missing. Look, it can work, but under the current atmosphere of the world being so military driven, and maybe it's best to hold off on any sort of military themes, just because you're going to get a lot of pushback.
Right. I do think that I do think in a world where the Transformers and G.I. Joe are in the same place, that it could work. Because you could have them focusing on Cobra and the Decepticons and
And by the way,
and the Autobots.
The first Transformers movie stuck to continuity for the most part, right? And was fun. Then the second movie came out and they started to fuck with everything, and that's when it really fell off. And people started to be like, wow, this is garbage. And the only reason why
Middle-aged dads everywhere are like, what the fuck is this Knights of the Round Table shit?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg again? All right. Speaking of people trying too hard, Sony in a Q&A this past week, and forgive me if I don't remember the representative from Sony that shared this, answered yes to the question as to whether or not the Sony Spider-Verse world would get another chance under the Sony umbrella. And they answered yes twice. They basically answered yes to a reboot.
Kill me.
One Dave has already said, kill me. The other Dave can't even do us the honor of staying on camera. Ray is shaking his head and is like, Tunney is not even got an expression on his face. He is very non-committal. This is just why Sony, more so than Paramount, Sony, I'm begging you, stop. You should have stopped at Morbid Time. When you tried to make its Morbid Time happen, that should have been it. And you gave us Madam Web.
Which is worse. It's worse, people.
By the way, so for the y'all who don't know, I want to thank Aesop Mitchell for sacrificing and dying for our sins and watching Madam Web so we didn't have to.
Yes, that was nice.
And Morbius.
And
he got paid to do that. Let's not give him that much credit. He got paid to do both of those.
Time out. I got paid to see Morbius. I paid extra. I wanted to go. What the fuck? The
now you're just
ones
stupid.
Well, I really wanted to go and see a fucking movie with the goddamn extra like vision thing, whatever the hell it's called, at theaters.
Screen
yeah,
X.
I really wanted to go do a Screen X, and that was the only goddamn thing that was playing. And I thought, well, it can't be worse than Morbius. And oh, how wrong I fucking was. And for whatever fucking reason, every time I'm able to come on this goddamn podcast, we have to have a goddamn conversation about the Sony Venomverse.
Listen to this. He's like, every time I'm able to, like, dude, literally 20 minutes before we were going to start today, it was like, hey, I'm coming on the show. And we're all like,
the fact that it's been like 2 years and we're still talking about this shit is ridiculous.
Maybe I altered the rundown once I knew he was on the show, guys.
Nice.
This is what makes me take a sabbatical for another 3 years.
This was on the okay. Anyway, so are we just all in agreement that this should not happen, but it's going to, and we're going to hate it? Are we pre-mad?
It's just so stupid because they have not addressed the biggest problem with all these movies, other than the fact that they suck. Absolutely suck. They still haven't addressed you cannot make a movie about Spider-Man villains without fucking Spider-Man. I mean, the only thing that the article pointed out, the only direction they could go that has any sort of modicum of a chance of being relevant is if they went with Miles Morales. That's it. Anything else is absolute horse shit.
I'll give them a little leeway. You might be able to pull off a Venom movie. In terms of an idea, Venom, the first one, yeah, kind of like it works on paper, but execution really fucking sucked. Everything else, like, no, you can't fucking do it. I totally agree with you on that, Dave. But you might be able to pull off Venom, because Venom, realistically now, he's been a hero for quite some time.
Yeah. No, I mean, Venom does have some drawing power that Craven doesn't. Madam Web certainly doesn't. All these other people certainly don't. Venom's got name recognition and enough of a following that you can work with that.
Didn't we just do the last dance for that, though, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay, well, cool.
What's your fucking point? No, just kidding.
I guess the Eagles and Kiss are doing another fucking retirement.
And Dave took that personal. That's what I just
said.
All right,
Dave's feelings are on full effect right now.
I can see that. All right,
we're going through some stuff.
All right, well, Dave, we're gonna let Dave go through his stuff. We're gonna take a step away because we're gonna hand the show back over to Ray after this commercial break. When we come back, we actually have 5 voters today, so we don't need tiebreakers.
Yes.
That's exciting. No tiebreakers for this week's round of Battle Royal Madness. Dave's coming in cold, but he's gonna love it.
I don't think we're gonna need him.
I'm gonna dip out, guys. All right,
He's not gonna love it.
Later.
There's not a lot of people on this channel I love more than this dude, but the things that I like, he tends to hate. So he's not.
And that is why he is going to be a great participant for Battle Royal Madness. Stay tuned for Aesop going off on Ray Cash. We're going to do that in about 30 seconds. For those of you that are with us live, it's going to be like 2 seconds. Stick around. It's going to be great. You're listening to Bandwagon Nerds here on the Chairshot Radio Network, part of the Chairshot.com.
Why should you visit thechairshot.com? Thechairshot.com is your home for hard-hitting reviews, news, opinion, and analysis with attitude. Why? Because you're smarter than the average fan. Thechairshot.com. Always use your head.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to Bandwagon Nerds here on the Chairshot Radio Network, a part of the Chairshot.com, where we remind you to always use your head. Make sure you head over to ProWrestlingTees.com/thechairshot for all of your chair shot swag needs. As I mentioned before the break, Ray Cash, PC Tunney, Aesop Mitchell, Attitude of Aggression, David Ungar, Patrick O'Dowd here to bring you the final set of round 2 here in Battle Royal Madness. We've got Star Wars and the best of what's left. Ray's already got the brackets up. I'm going to minimize my agenda so that I can make this bigger so that my 47-year-old eyes can read these matchups. Because good Lord, even though I already sent Ray my picks, he actually knows who I picked because I thought I was going to be on vacation. Yeah. So I did not catch that this didn't happen. So anyway, Ray, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Vietnam, or, well, Bandwagon Nerds. Welcome to another episode of your favorite soap opera / game show / thing you watch to love to hate, Battle Royal Madness. For those of you who are not aware of what we're doing, every year for the past 3 years, we do a March Madness-esque tournament amongst all things nerddom, entertainment, pop culture, whatever you want to call it. This year we decided to do a Super Smash Brothers amalgamation that I like to call Battle Royal Madness. We are a wrestling website. Made perfect sense. So, our 4 brackets, and by the way, this is a nice little set. I'm trying to get you back involved, Sop. Our 4 brackets are video games, world comics, which means comics that are not involved with, that were not created by Marvel or DC. And then, of course, our Star Wars bracket and our best of the rest bracket, that we're doing today. Now, as you can see with those of you listening, you'll hear with the beautiful presentation that I have available for all of you. We have already made a number of picks. We've gone through our first round. So if we look at the entire bracket, the number 1 seed Darth Vader did defeat the number 16 seed Lando Calrissian. The number 8 seed Din Djarin defeated Boba Fett, the OG Mandalorian, the OG fake clone Mandalorian, but nonetheless. Obi-Wan Kenobi defeated Grand Admiral Thrawn. Darth Sidious unfortunately took out everybody's favorite Wookiee, Chewbacca. Luke Skywalker defeated his homeboy, Han Solo. General Grievous was defeated, who was the 7th seed, by the 10 seed Moff Gideon. Darth Maul, a.k.a. Patrick O'Dowd's favorite Star Wars character, defeated Cad Bane, and Yoda defeated Fennec Shand. So today, we are doing the second round. Gentlemen, are you ready?
I mean, I'm ready.
Round 2, guys. We have our 1 versus 8 matchup. We have the number 1 seed, Darth Vader, facing off against everybody's favorite Mandalorian, and the guy that's probably going to make $1 bajillion at the box office in a couple months, Din Djarin. All right. I'm going to go with you, Patrick, because I always start with you out of respect and reverence and deference to the fact that this is you're the captain of our ship. I know who you're picking, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to explain who you're picking or change. Who do you have?
Well, before we do that, I thought that trailer sucked, but that's just me.
Yeah, well, there we go.
Not excited for the Mandalorian Grogu. We'll probably still have to see it because this show is going to make me talk about it. But Dave, sorry, other Dave, not regular Dave. I am to the Star Wars universe what you are to the MCU. I'm so done with it. Anyway, all that to be said, Darth Vader doesn't even need to use his lightsaber because he will force choke a bitch. I don't care how good you are and how much Beskar you're wearing. He don't need it. He gonna crush you. And it's not gonna be pretty. And then he's gonna squish little baby Yoda, as we all should, because you can't escape that little bastard. Yeah. He's still a child and doesn't know how to use his powers to the extent of Darth Vader. So Vader wins with or without Baby Yoda and advances on.
Well, next we go to regular Dave, apparently.
Yeah. Everything Patrick said.
Wait. Go to Jewish Dave. Oh,
That
shit.
makes it even
Yeah.
Shit.
Nicely done. Everything Patrick just said, like the trailer says that the bond between Din Djarin and Grogu just gets stronger until Darth basically crushes both of them with the Force and chokes them out, and that's the end of the bond. Yeah, this is not a matchup. This is a rout of epic proportions. It's Vader.
PC Tony?
Star Wars, baby. It's Star Wars, baby. Darth Vader kicking
Bill
his
Murray showed up?
ass. Yeah, little Bill Murray. You know, we can't talk about Chevy, but we can talk about Billy. It's not even close. This graphic is amazing, though, by the way. If we're going better sigil, I'd go with Din Djarin, but Darth.
The graphic is better than the fight will be, right?
Darth would probably ruin the sigil as well. Cooler helmet, Din Djarin, by the way, as well.
Random, but I was watching Dax Shepard's podcast with Sterling K. Brown.
Star Wars,
about him
baby,
on the
Star Wars.
People of OJ show, and he was like, "Bro, you're a better actor than Chris Darden was a lawyer," and so that reminds me of that. It's very funny. Visitor Dave.
Look,
It's
I'm going to
Lawyer
say
Dave
this,
and Dave Sop,
I don't
by
know.
the way.
I don't
Dave
wanna,
Sop.
Yeah, I think if you ever do this bracket again, you need to do Star Wars sans Darth Vader. Let's just be honest. If Darth Vader don't win this, the fix is in.
To that point, I want you to. I really want you to expound.
Didn't somebody beat Darth Vader in actual Star Wars?
Hold on. To that point.
Yes.
Just wondering.
Hold on. To that point, the number one season. Hold on. To that
Star
point, the number one
Wars.
seeds are supposed to be close to insurmountable. That's the only reason why I felt comfortable putting him in this.
Sure, but like then I think I think for a lot of the other things, there still could be like some contention in other from other individuals. I'm going to tell you right now, Darth Vader needs to walk away with this entire bracket of Star Wars. If he loses, fixes it.
Didn't he already lose to somebody though in the bracket?
In real Star Wars life, yes.
I mean,
I wasn't
well,
sure.
Hold that thought, Tony.
Dave, just, or I'm sorry, second Dave number 2. There is one character that stands above head and shoulders.
Okay, who's next?
Next, everybody.
Star Wars character. No. You will put
Moving
respect on R2D2. You will
Moving
put
on
respect on his name.
Moving
Jar
on
Jar
Respect
Binks.
his name.
Jar
to
Jar
our
Binks.
five-
Respect R2D2.
Fucking
Most
beeping
powerful
trash
character in
can.
Star Wars.
We have Ewan McGregor versus Uncle Dead Guy. Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Sidious. Yeah, by the way, Sop, that's my nickname for Palpatine, is Uncle Dead Guy. And I'll start with you. We'll go backwards. Go ahead, Sop. Who you got, my boy?
Young Dave. You're young Dave. I'm old Dave. That'll
take it.
clear the whole thing up.
Dave Dose.
I would go with that.
Dave Dose.
Yeah. This is a fun battle, in my opinion. Like this one, there is claim for both individuals. In my overall, it's really hard to plan this. But if I'm going off of my Star Wars logic, got to give it to Sidious. I think if he's been alive that long, he's been kicking. He ends up getting the ridiculous mecha contraption that they fucking give him in the last goddamn movie, because that was a choice. Still based off of that power, I'm going to take Sidious. And I hate doing that, by the way.
We'll go opposite. Percival.
I mean, Obi-Wan is just one of the greatest Jedis of all time, but Darth Sidious at his peak. If that's what we're doing, this is not even close.
Sexy Dave. You like that?
Kind of like
You
that.
like that?
I like that.
Yeah,
Kirk
wait.
Cousins likes it too.
You like
Yeah.
that? You like that?
As much as I want to pick Obi-Wan here, I can't, because, I think about Sidious, right? And I always go back to that fight he had with Mace Windu, where he basically toys with Mace Windu the entire fight as a means to elicit a certain reaction from Anakin to flip him to the dark side. And Mace is every bit as strong as Obi-Wan is. So yeah, I'm with Tunney and sexier Dave, and saying that Darth Sidious is the winner here. So,
Do you even want to talk about what you picked, Patrick? Because we know where this is going.
Well, here's why I picked Sidious too. And I think this is one of the few times, as much as I love those prequel trilogies, in episode 3, there's a choice to make as to who faces who. And Yoda's like, you ain't ready for that, and sends him after Anakin. So that's about all you need to know as to how that fight was going to go. I too picked
good
Sidious.
point. Really good point.
I have one question for the group. I am the youngest Padawan here on this panel when it comes to Star Wars. Is there anybody in the movie Star Wars verse? I'll even give you the TV shows. I never watched the shit, the cartoons, the animated. That's better with the stick than Obi-Wan is, though.
I mean, Yoda.
Luke's better at everything than everybody. Luke is the most
Well,
powerful person ever. When we come to the end of what we've just had for Star Wars movies, Luke's more powerful than everybody. It's always been about
didn't
Luke.
say
It will
powerful.
always
I'm talking
be
about
about Luke. It'll
skill
always
with
be
the
about the
stick.
Jedi. It's all Star Wars, but it's all Luke Skywalker. Period. Point blank.
Don't
End of
forget
story.
Yaddle.
Good
Skill with
night.
the stick.
Yeah, Yaddle is pretty good too. She was
we
talented.
never saw Yoda versus Obi-Wan, and that's
Well, and here's the other thing
we
to
might.
keep in mind.
Well, we won't.
No,
when it comes to Jedi Knights, as we go full dork on this, you can't just point to their swordsmanship because that's only a part of the equation. So while Obi-Wan is very good with his lightsaber as a fighter, in reality, there's also this strength within the Force, and Obi-Wan is up there, but he is not so engrossed and embedded in the dark side that he could handle Darth Sidious on his best day.
Understood.
At no point in his time either, because he killed Darth Maul twice for crying out loud,
So
and not
with
even
that
close.
thought, then we know who's gonna win this next one, because you just mentioned Darth Maul got killed twice by Obi-Wan, and Tony says that everything that Obi-Wan is, Luke Skywalker's better. Ain't gonna go good for your homie in the face paint. Do we even need to talk about this, or you want to keep moving?
I mean,
Well,
the matchup
you
gets
gotta have rookie
the matchup.
Luke right there.
Okay, well then what's DC Dave?
It's a good fight. I absolutely love this matchup because I think Luke versus Darth Maul, like Tunney's saying, Luke may be the best with the lightsaber. Darth Maul is going to challenge him. It will not be a cakewalk. Luke is going to have to fight and fight hard. But like Patrick's saying, you start taking in the intangibles into the Force, into this whole thing. And we saw Luke walk through a legion of Death Troopers. What's Darth Maul really going to do? And Obi-Wan taught Luke pretty much everything he knows. So I think ultimately, when you take all the factors of the Force into consideration, Luke wins this relatively handily. Right, Tony?
Peak Luke. Let's just think about what that is. Okay, now carry that with you. Next.
Milwaukee side.
Yeah, I'd pretty much echo all the other sentiments.
And Southern Illinois Patrick.
There is an argument. We keep hearing Tunney spout over and over and over again about how amazing Luke is and that he's the greatest fighter of all time. Who he trained for like 10 minutes in a swamp, and that's basically his training.
It
Like,
just came naturally to him. That's why.
Right, he's so good. And don't get me started on Rey, who literally picks up a lightsaber and just goes. Like, that's a whole other issue.
Ray the person on the show, not me, but for those you listen.
Right, yeah. There's an argument that his sister was better than him. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, that is a conversation for a different tournament where she makes a bracket. In this case, yes, I agree that Luke Skywalker defeats Darth Maul in a Jedi combat.
Well, so there's not much to talk about this next one because I'm pretty sure everybody and their mama know. Even Giancarlo Esposito will tell you.
But at least he looks
won
cool.
this one.
I like that he gave him the death saber, though. I like that he gave him the dark saber.
That's the reason why I picked him in this tournament, because him as a regular dude, and to his credit, the way he ingratiated and learned the Mandalorian way, got Beskar, stole the way everything that they did, on top of getting the dark saber, made him formidable. But I mean, we talking about Yoda. We talking about. We'll start with Percival Charles, and we can go ahead. You can give me one word. We can get out of here and move on to best of the rest.
Well, I'm working on something for you.
Okay,
there we
I'll
go.
come back to you. Trivia, Dave.
Ooh, dark saber.
I got Yoda.
Trivia, Dave.
Yeah. Hey, give me Yoda all the way.
UFO, Dave.
I think Yoda beats his ass with his walking stick, even with Moff Gideon having the dark saber. So yeah, it's Yoda.
Disney, Patrick.
This was the other one. Like, in terms of characters, Yoda. Dave, you just said he could beat him with his walking stick. Yoda doesn't pull out his lightsaber unless he absolutely has to, because he's that entrenched and powerful within the Force. Like, he didn't battle Count Dooku with a lightsaber until he kind of felt like, oh, all right, I guess we're doing it this way.
Yep.
And the only reason they did it that way is because he had to protect Luke, Obi-Wan, and Anakin at the same time. So this is he just sort of does one of these, and Gideon's done.
Well, so
But his armor's cool.
Gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this part of the tournament. So going forward in your Sweet 16 for the actual Star Wars bracket, it's almost like I planned it this way. Your number 1 seed, Darth Vader, will face his mentor, his what do you call Padawan and what's the dude?
Master and apprentice.
The master versus apprentice. Thank you. Number 4 seed Darth Sidious, where the number 3 seed Luke Skywalker will face his master, the number 2 seed Yoda. Could be interesting. Moving forward to the best of the rest, gentlemen. So best of the rest was an amalgamation of like all the other things that could be involved. So like I ended up using the movie theme because a lot of them had movies or have worked with movies, but there's some mythology in here. There's some literature, bing, bang, boom, whatever. So looking at where we've gotten so far, God bless the Baba Yaga. He did his best, but Godzilla just sneezed and killed him. Jason Voorhees won the Battle of the Monsters against Michael Myers, 8-9. The OG Terminator T-800 beat John Rambo, and Kong 8 Conan the Barbarian, even though Conan tried. The number 3 seed Goku took out Jake Sully, or as how you say it, Tony?
Suleiman.
Thank you, sir. The 6 seed Predator continues to whoop that ass of the Xenomorph. Dracula, in a shocking defeat, loses to Pennywise the Clown, and Sauron. Sorry, Harry. You a kid, bruh. It is what it is.
He Avada Kedavered his ass.
You're a wizard, Harry.
In many ways.
Dead wizard.
All right, Patrick. I'd imagine we don't have much to talk about here. Because to your point, Sop, the number 1 seeds are pretty insurmountable. I don't think there's any way any of us are thinking.
I mean,
Jason.
He's already about to breathe him into oblivion. Like the picture shows what's going to happen here. Like
he can't be yawning. He can't be yawning. Maybe he's tired.
Well, he's dangerous when he yawns.
Bored.
But yeah,
he's bored of this fight.
He's going to look at the machete guy, who he's not even going to see. He's actually going to be busy destroying just Camp Crystal Lake with his flames and just wipe it all out. Rest in peace, Jason Voorhees.
Well, so, all right, then go ahead. Let's go to gray hair Dave.
That could
Jason is interested because of his ability. You can't really kill him, as we've seen. But then again, he has not yet shown his ability to reconstruct himself from...
Point of order. Jason died. Jason died and was resurrected through stupid lightning magic.
Okay.
Jason died.
Well, let me get to the point. We have not
Jason
seen...
died from a boat. He died from a boat.
Yes. He died from drowning. But what we have not seen in the movies is Jason find a way to reconstruct himself from an atomic level, which is what is going to happen once Godzilla nuclear breaths his ass into the quantum realm. So yeah, it's Godzilla.
Percival Charles?
You got to put your microphone down, buddy.
Oh, thanks, Dave. He's going to eat him and take him with him on the rest of the tournament.
There you go. He's gonna shit him out in the Sweet 16.
Dirty blonde hair Dave.
Is that me?
I don't know what your hair color is. Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I have more grays than I do dirty blonde.
Well,
I'll
dirty
take that.
blonde / gray hair.
Yeah,
Dave.
you know what? I'll take Kurt. I'll take Kurt Russell and Monarch beating Jason Voorhees. That's how confident I am in this.
Good answer.
Nice.
Good answer.
Good one.
Jason, we hardly knew
Kurt
you.
Russell from Monarch moves on.
All right, guys. Arnold says he'll be back. Terminator versus Kong. I will say
He won't be back.
physically, this is imposing. But we're talking about a dude that is not a dude. He's a dude playing a dude disguised as a computer dude. We will go to wrestler Dave.
Uh,
Dave Van Guard didn't
I
wrestle, my
would
boy. I'm
I
talking
would
aside.
sooner have
Yeah.
would sooner have more of a trouble trying to figure out this one. I think this one is there is a world I think where the T800 does win. It's just not this one. So I'll give it to Kong.
PC.
I think there's a possibility T2000 could win, but I don't think
Why I didn't choose
T800 has.
him?
I don't think T800 has a chance in hell. Look at those fangs on that gorilla. Yeah, we're going with Kong here.
A lawyer Dave.
Yeah, man. As resilient as the Terminator is, it's similar to the Jason situation. We have not yet seen the Terminator find a way to reconstruct itself, but being torn to shreds, which is basically what Kong is going to do to the Terminator. So yeah, it's Kong with the walkover victory here.
Senor O'Dowd.
Yeah, I don't have much more to add here. Again, the sheer size of Kong, his ability to pick up and just toss this machine and crush it into submission eventually. No matter how many different times the Terminator comes back, results in a victory for Kong.
Yeah, he'll keep coming back, and eventually Kong just gets annoyed with the whole fucking thing. And
Just smashes him Hulk style.
Yep.
Who knows?
yep,
All right, guys. The number 3 seed Goku faces off against the number 6 seed the Predator. Next, we are going to go to Grandpa Dave.
dude,
That
like
could be either one of us, to be fair.
that could be either one. I
Damn,
think he's
stop
talking
it
about
like that.
old Dave.
yeah.
Old Dave is what he's talking about. This is not. I mean, the only chance that the Predator has here is if Goku has a tendency to just kind of like fuck with his opponents a little bit and let him get some shots in. But even then, that's just not going to make any difference. Goku's a next level world ender on a lot of levels, and I don't see the Predator having much of a chance here unless Goku flat out lets him win, and that's not going to happen. So yeah, I got Goku winning this one.
POD.
So I think I said this the last time we talked about Goku in the first round. The only way the Predator wins is if during the first 28 episodes of the season, while Goku is preparing for the big fight that will eventually culminate at the end of the show, the Predator gets it. Otherwise, Goku goes Super Saiyan and destroys the Predator. So
Yes.
I'm going with Goku because the Predator, while he does prepare a lot, doesn't quite prepare enough. He's gonna have that moment where Goku gets down and we think maybe this is it for Goku, but that'll be the end. An alien will show up, save the day,
He might not even have to
Super
go Super Saiyan if we're being honest.
Now you
Big
always
Daddy-
go Super Saiyan. Like
Daddy
that's just how
Dave.
it works.
Look, Goku got hit with his own spirit bomb at one point, right?
And he was fine.
more or less,
Laughed it off.
and he. Well, I mean, look, no one could feel his key, but he still came back from that. I'm sorry, this is not even close. It's Goku.
Mr. Tony, do you even want to talk?
I mean, Vader, Yoda, Godzilla, and Goku. These are all just annihilations.
Well, you mentioned Goku instead of the next person, our number 2 seed. He likes rings, while the other guy likes balloons. Pennywise the clown, who personally am still shocked got through this bitch, against Sauron, our number 2 seed, Lord of the Rings. Tony, you're the only one that ain't started yet. Go ahead, brother.
I think the biggest thing we talked about the last time we did this, and Pennywise was a combatant, was his ability to control fear. Sauron is so confident and ridiculous that he doesn't know fear. So there's no chance for Pennywise to have any ability to win this matchup. Give me Sauron here.
and we will go the opposite way, and we will go with Nerf Dave.
Which one's that?
Yeah,
The boy
that
that
is
got
a
his Nerf
perfect.
jacket on.
Dave Wortz is a big
That's
Nerf
me.
gun guy.
That's
There you go.
Got one right there
yeah,
next to him. Yeah, he's
agree.
ready to go at all times.
I have over 1,000. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. Cuddy said it perfectly. Sauron feels no fear, therefore Pennywise has no power, which realistically means he should have lost in the first round. But
Thank you.
you know,
Thank you.
is what it is.
Dracula's afraid of light.
I'm going to take full credit on the swaying arguments that I made to get Pennywise past Dracula, because that was all Patrick O'Dowd.
Well, while you're patting yourself on the back, brother, go ahead. Go ahead, brother. Give us your thoughts.
As Dave pointed out, Sauron fears nothing. Like literally nothing. There is nothing in his dreams that haunt him at night other than, Aragorn and a sword. And I don't think that's going to be enough.
Or Gollum's ugly face.
What's that?
Gollum's ugly face. Waking up to that.
No, that doesn't scare him.
It scares a lot of people.
He captured Gollum. Well, his forces captured Gollum while he was an entity and tortured him. No worries there. Like Dracula actually has a lot of baggage when you really get into it that you can manipulate and exploit, which is how I made the argument 2-3 weeks ago, whenever it was that we did it, was that it's really about Pennywise capitalizing on more than just sunlight, but his lady issues as well. Sauron has no lady issues. Sauron has none of that. Pennywise is done.
And we will finally end it here with "Them Dogs Be Barking," Dave.
The only thing that Sauron fears is the One Ring getting thrown into the fires of Mount Doom. And unless Pennywise stole the One Ring from a certain hobbit somewhere and raced to the mountain and somehow got around, and that's really not Pennywise's style. So yeah, this is Sauron pretty easily, and match over.
So those of you bracketeers who like going chalk, here we went chalk.
We go on hard chalk.
Our number one seed.
There wasn't one dissenting vote amongst all of us today.
It's as solid as it's ever been. The number one seed Godzilla next week, next week, will face off against the number 4 seed Kong in the. Is this the trilogy? Is this 3? Godzilla Kong
Could
3.
be.
And the number 3 seed, this fight I'd like to see. The number 3 seed Goku is facing off against the number 2 seed Sauron. So, now, I've given you your Sweet 16 for both the Best of the Rest and for Star Wars. But because of how the tournament is working, we're gonna do the whole Sweet 16 in one day. So, I've told you the two matchups for the Best of the Rest. Told you the 2 backups for Star Wars. Going into video games, the Sweet 16, the number 1 overall seed Kratos from God of War is facing off against the bane of my existence in this fucking tournament, the number 13 seed Sonic the goddamn Hedgehog.
Yes,
that's real. That's real, Sop. That's real. They pushed Sonic through 2.
He should be there. He should be there.
Thank you, Dave.
You almost got me back, bro. It was almost all love.
Chaos Control, baby.
And they will face the winner of the number 3 seed from Metroid, Samus Aran, versus the number 7 seed Chaos, in actual Chaos, from Mortal Kombat, Scorpion. And going into World Comics, our number 1 overall seed, Omni-Man from Invincible, or should I say Image Comics, is facing off against, you guessed it, his son Invincible from Image Comics, the 1 versus the 4, and again Chalk, the 3 seed from is Spawn variant Wildstorm from Wildstorm Comics, Spawn facing off against from the boys, that dastardly Homelander. So that's all. Next week, Same Battle Royal channel, same board Battle Royal Madness time, same board Battle Royal Madness PowerPoint presentation, and I handed back off to El Capitan Le Villain, Mr. Patrick O'Dowd.
I love that I'm French today. All right. That, of course, means that we thank you very much again, Ray. Sorry, don't let Greg hear that. He'll be very upset with me.
Greg likes to beat me sometimes. We've done it before.
I'm sure he does. A lot of fun. Love the little graphics, the walk-in graphics. Those are fun.
This is your
Good
first
work.
time seeing it, yeah, because you missed the other damn
It's
two.
true. I've been gone. I've been living that Disney
Here's
life.
the best part. I tried to send it to his ass. He was like, "Nah, I'll see when I get back. I'll watch it. I'll watch it on screen." We didn't record
I've been
a
busy.
damn live one once while he was gone. So here we go.
Yeah, shit happens. Anyway, that of course brings us to our last segment of the show. Or real quick, once around, what you watching? What is it that these nerds have been checking out, either on the big screen or the small screen? This week we will start. Holy crap! I got like so many choices. We'll start with Ray Cash this week. Ray, what you watching?
Nothing special, nothing new, nothing major, but again, I always want to prop up the two shows that are everything to me right now. Alex Cross on Amazon Prime. Shout out to Aldous Hodge. Shout out to Isaiah Mustafa, aka the Old Spice dude. And dog, The Pit is amazing shit. If you, but that no wow. Every award you can get a man for writing, directing, show runnering. You want to give him the award for best
He
boom,
won all the Emmys. He's won all the Emmys already for the first season.
as deserved. He's fantastic. Those
The
are
Pit will win Emmys for as long as it's on TV.
The Pit is the drama version of what The Bear is supposed to be, but they put The Bear in fucking comedy so it can win awards too.
I guess it makes zero sense. Dave, we'll go with Aesop. Dave.
Yeah. Stuff that I've been watching, I'll be honest, I've been checking out some of the classics. That's usually my bag. So my wife and I have been watching Blacklist, which has been a fun ride. And we watched most of The Pit. It's been good. So we went back and we're actually watching ER, which is going to be a fucking slog. I don't know why the hell she picked that, but that's what I get, I guess.
A lot of seasons.
That's a lot of seasons.
God, I hope she's listening to you talk
hey,
right now.
Hey, I'd rather go back and watch
she
ER
doesn't
than watch
give a
Grey's.
shit.
Grey's got more seasons
God,
than Dave
yes.
has years.
I
That's
got
true.
through about 4 seasons of Grey's and I had to go by.
And I will say, it is on my to-do list. I want to go and watch Primal really bad. The Getty
good things about Primal.
Tarkovsky's, and that shit's been looking fun. So I'm thinking about checking that out too.
Cool. PC Tony.
Next Level Chef is in full swing, doing really good things over there. That's the 3-level chef show. That's with Gordon Ramsay, Naisha Arrington, and Richard Blaze. Having fun with that. What else have I been watching? Not a lot. I've been watching The Simulator in front of me, trying to get ready for the golf season. So there you go.
David Ungar.
The two things that stand out to me that I've watched lately is I watched 28 Years Later, which was excellent. And I'm getting ready to watch The Bone Temple because that is now available for purchase. And I fully intend on buying it because I think you mentioned a few weeks ago, Pat, it was you who kind of lamented the fact that The Bone Temple didn't do so well at the box office for dumb reasons, So I'm looking forward to checking that out. And I did watch the first episode of season 2 of Monarch Legacy of Monsters, which David mentioned, and that was excellent. I thoroughly enjoyed that first
Haven't
episode.
started it yet. Haven't watched it.
I won't spoil it other than I do like the Kong look at the end of the episode, looking at everybody like, what the fuck did you just do? I thought that was fun. So it's a good show, and like getting Kurt Russell back and the whole cast, I'm enjoying it so far. And
Very
of course, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which we finished and
I heard
have
great
reviewed.
things.
Yes.
Very nice.
Oh, dude, it's amazing. If you haven't watched it, watch it. You could probably watch it in a day. You could probably watch the whole season in 3 hours. Attitudeofaggression.com. Go to the YouTube channel. There's 6 episodes of us covering A Night of the Nine Kingdoms.
Apparently so.
So one of the best things about coming back from a long vacation is getting caught up on stuff that I missed. So I had 3 episodes of Shrinking to catch on Apple TV that I got caught up on. That was fun. I mentioned it. I'm watching currently. I've got 1 episode to go of Soul Power to finish that ABA documentary series. The PBA season, Professional Bowlers Association season, started last week with the PBA Players Championship, which made history. as Brandon Bonta bowled, he's a rookie, was bowling at his first ever professional event. He made the television part of the tournament, started at the bottom of the stepladder bracket, made it all the way to the top of the bracket to bowl the best bowler in the world, EJ Tackett, and he bowled a 300 game. It was the only like the third, it's unheard of. It's like the fifth rookie to bowl a televised 300 game. It was something to watch when that kid got locked in. And you can just see that he knew it. He was going to do it. It was amazing. The last person to do Jason Belmonte was the last televised 300.
Who's the tall Chris guy? I'm trying to think of his name. I thought he did it as well.
Chris, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's my Belmonte
yeah.
impression.
Hey, because of him, he changed bowling with that too. Him and Kyle Troop really changed bowling with the two-handed style. This Bonta kid, who then didn't make television today, like he because that's the nature of the sport. EJ Tackett, of course, he also didn't make the tournament,
like
or
missing
make
the cut after
part.
winning a major.
Right. Like, well, and that's the thing is that major is the only major that EJ Tackett has not won, and this kid shoots a 300, and Tackett had a good game. Like, he shot like a 240, which would normally win, but when a kid shoots a 300 on a tournament pattern, and different patterns on each lane, like it's truly amazing when that happens. 20-year-old Patrick just wants to kick the shit out of 47-year-old Patrick for the amount of time he spent about professional bowling. Tony, you're going to love this. I started watching the revival of Scrubs, what Bill Lawrence is calling the true 9th season of Scrubs.
Go ahead. Finish your Scrubs review, and I have something else that I remembered. Go ahead.
It's very much like the show outside of the 9th season. Like, they really didn't change much about the show other than the JD character is now the chief of medicine and how he manages that. And I think they broke up his primary relationship again because that's how that always goes on the show. He and Elliot are now divorced. But I enjoyed the first 2 episodes. Did they set my world on fire? No. But it was the Scrubs show that I watched and enjoyed for years when it was on TV.
Fan of Scrubs? No, we've talked about this. Am I happy that it's back for Patrick and that he's enjoyed his first? Absolutely. And Patrick knows that, right? Like that's the funny thing about the Bandwagon nerds and the people that are inside of the Bandwagon nerds family. Like, do we give each other shit on the show? Yeah, because that's a show. Are we happy when people enjoy other kinds of mediums that we don't? Am I thrilled that there's awesome horror trailers for these guys? I am. Am I going to check them out? The fuck I'm not. But the one thing I remembered that I did watch that I did want to mention, and I'm so glad you brought this up, is The Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins with Tracy Morgan, Bobby Moynihan. I can't remember the black lady's name who's in the show. She's from something so very familiar.
What is it? Yeah, but
she's been in so much shit. She's probably the best part of the show. And then yes, Harry Potter's in this as well. So I watched the pilot and they gave you the second episode right away. Awesome.
Eric
Finally.
Alexander from Living Single.
Yes. Yeah, she's fucking great in this. She makes this good. Watch it, guys. Watch it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be just on the cock. It's not going to be on network television. It's going to be a streaming thing like the paper thing they did with the Office kind of spin-off thing. But for a guy who's a sitcom guy, who's watched every sitcom from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and firmly believes there's no good sitcoms right now, I'm going to watch
every sitcom.
And you always say there's
Dave.
no good one.
I love you, Dave.
But you.
Shirt of the day. Shirt of the day, Dave Sop, by the way.
And last but not least, also yesterday was the last day on HBO Max of some classic Mel Brooks films being on the streaming service. So I made it a point to watch History of the World Part 1 and Blazing Saddles before they left the network today. So those are a couple of movies.
Where are the white women at?
God has given me these 10 commandments. Kills me every time. It's such a simple joke. It's such a simple, silly joke. But Moses dropping the tablet of one of the 15 commandments, which is why we only have 10, kills me every time. All right. That is going to do it for this week's edition. But before we get out of here, fellas, tell everybody how they can either find you on the interwebs follow you, what you want them to listen to, anything like that. And we'll start this week with our good friend, the violent gentleman, Aesop Dave Mitchell Wortz Waza Nerf extraordinaire fan.
Did you bullshit last week? Did you attempt to bullshit last week? Yes. Feel free, people. You could send me messages. I probably won't respond to you. That's okay, though. But more importantly, go and listen to my podcast, Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. It's a lot of fun. It's a great time. We do some crazy sports stuff. There's wrestling in there regularly, among some other great nerdy entertainment things as well. And you can't get much better than that. So, do that. Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast.
Ray Cash.
Follow me,
Reverend Raymond S. Cashington, Esquire.
Thank you, my good man.
Say his damn name.
Gotta put some respect on it.
Respect. Follow me at Benchwarmers Podcast. What's that?
David Ungar.
Well, for the time being, you can only check out the website.
You should tell them to follow me, and then Tony will tell them to follow you. It will just all skip. That's what you should do.
Yeah, you can follow me at It's Ray Cash. That's REYCASH as in dollars. But for now, go to the website, attitudeofaggression.com, and of course, check out the YouTube channel, Attitude of Aggression's YouTube channel. And in case I forget, fuck X. There you go.
PC Tony.
You can follow me at PC Tunney. Continue to listen to everything Chairshot Radio Network on all of your favorite streaming platforms, thechairshot.com, prowrestlingtees.com/thechairshot, attitudeofaggression.com, and of course on X at Chairshot Media. If you want to see every single time there is something new on thechairshot.com.
And you can follow me on most of the social media platforms at Wrestling Realist. That is at WRESTLNGREALIST. Make sure that you're following us on the Bandwagon Nerds channel as well on X at Bandwagon Nerds. You can catch me every Monday, Tuesday, and most Wednesdays here on the Chairshot Radio Network. Mondays talking nerdy stuff with these guys. Tuesdays, though we haven't lately, and we're not dropping a Four Corners this week. Just
Game Gone Wrong on Tuesday.
Yep.
30 mindless minutes on Thursday. Wednesday, we'll fucking see what happens.
Wednesday, allegedly, will be the Greg DeMarco show. Greg DeMarco and Patrick O'Dowd until one of our kids has something on a Tuesday night that requires us.
This week, probably.
Anyway, or you can listen to us talk about wrestling. We're going to tell you why everybody needs to get over themselves over Danhausen's debut. Because, good Lord, people need to chill. Anyhow.
Why did they hire
the guy
him?
Or hate, who cares? This isn't that show.
He's Punk's boy. That's Punk's boy. Come on.
All right, everybody. Dave, start muting people. You've got a dog on your lap.
He won't.
We're not doing this. We're not doing this. Thank you, everyone who listened to us live today. I appreciate you. Don't be afraid to ask questions in the future. For the rest of you that are listening on the recording, of course, we love you. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, do all those things that you need to do to keep listening to the Chairshot Radio Network and Bandwagon Nerds. This is going to do it for this week's episode. Now get yourself out of the basement, get some sun, and then write to the NBA and argue that ABA stats should count for players that played in the ABA and the NBA. Julius Erving deserves better. You've been listening to Bandwagon Nerds here on the Chairshot Radio Network, part of the Chairshot.com.